This will be the last topic class of the first quarter about data editor, workspace, and script files. So you should be able to show data in our data editor in R and display remove objects in the workspace and define the purpose of comments in an R code and then fix common errors class in the R codes. Okay. So to display class your data set in editor window, so we make use class of your fix function. Okay. Fix and then inside class your fix function is the name of your data set. For example, we have your fix and then data set name of puromycin. So what it will do is that it will display class your data set in the data editor. And then right into class the data editor window, you can directly edit its content. And then after closing class the data editor window, all the changes will then be saved. So ma-save siya automatic after nimo close the data editor window. So that's the work of your fix function to display the data inside your data editor window where you can directly edit the contents. And then when we say workspace, this is your virtual area containing all the objects which we have created upon launching the RStudio. And to display class the objects found into your workspace, we call this function, okay, objects, and then open and close parentheses. And for example, it has these objects inside my workspace, which are accidents and pyromycin. So take note class that these objects are stored into your computer's memory. So specifically class into your random access memory. So mean to say it consumes a space from your random access memory. So hence class, we need to remove this object. Okay? Because again, if you don't remove this object, it will consume some space into your computer's memory. So thereby, mugamay ng imuhang free memory for which these applications can work on. So to remove class these objects, we call the rm function. And then type in there your object 1, object 2, and your object 3. So for example, by earlier we have class two objects from my workspace, which are accidents and puromycin na data set. So to remove class accident object, so we call here your rm function and then pass here the name of our object, which is accidents. Okay, and after pressing enter class, this accidents object has already been removed into our workspace. So when you call class the objects function to display the list of objects into your workspace, what we can see is your puromycin because again, na-remove na ang accidents nga object. So that's how we can remove. We use the rm function. And we need to remove again class because it consumes a space into our computer's memory. So there's also the other way class where you can remove all objects into your workspace. So without having to identify each object individually. So to remove class all objects from your workspace, we make use of this function, list equals objects inside your rm. So what it will do is that it will retrieve all the objects class into your workspace and then apply the rm function. So mean to say, after retrieving class all the list of objects into your workspace, it will then be removed because we apply here your rm function. So as you can see, when you try to display or when we type this code, objects to display all the list of objects from our workspace, what we can see here is character 0. So mean to say, all objects has been removed from our workspace. So that's a work class of your rm function. Then debugging R codes. So if you can encounter this one, mean to say, it's still asking for you for some entry to complete the operation. Okay, we have a plus. Mean to say again class, it requires for some entry. So you need to supply value. For example, 3, we have here 5. And then another example is we have here an error. We have an extra close parenthesis with no open parenthesis. So we need to remove class this extra parenthesis because it will create an error. So unexpected, this one. So you need to remove this extra close parenthesis. And then another error that we can encounter is, for example, this one, mean, and then we have the word hello. So it causes us an error because we cannot, of course, we cannot perform a mathematical operation with non-numeric entry. So you need to supply class numeric entry to perform the mean function. Okay, that is argument is not numeric or logical. So it asks for a numeric entry before you can get its mean. So our script file, it's a file containing our commands that can be executed. And then to run a command from your script, you just need to highlight the commands and then press Control Enter from your keyboard. And then comments in R. To write class a comments in R, we need to use the pound sign, or okay, this one, the sharp sign, or the number sign. And uh, for assigning comments, these are used class to provide some helpful insights about the code. For example class, you wanted to write a comment to state that it was created last April 27, 2020. So it gives some information to each reader what this code is all about, and to provide class more easy maintenance of your code. It gives class a short description of what this code is all about, who created it, and what do this function will do. So it's just class a sort of built-in documentation of your code. So instead of writing a whole documentation for your entire program, you can include comments into your R script so that it will enhance the readability of your code. Specifically class for the programmer once you do the maintenance of this program. So that's the use of your comments. But then take note class that these comments are never executed in R. Okay, so they are not executed because they are just for documentation purposes to improve the readability of your code and then for easy maintenance of your program with other programmers. So that's the word class of your comment. Again, to set a comment, make sure to include a pound sign or a number sign into your R script. Okay, so questions class or clarifications?